Little Witch Academia was one of my favorite anime shows of the past decade. The combination of Studio Trigger's slick animation and a magical school setting was a match made in heaven. While there are no indications of the show returning for a second season, developer Universe is trying to take us back to the world of Luna Nova in VR broom racing. Is this the next must-have purchase for VR enthusiasts? Find out as we return to Luna Nova one more time. VR Broom Racing casts the player as a guest student attending a witch school called Luna Nova Academy. Before the game begins, you get to create your own avatar, but the options are extremely limited and becomes redundant when you discover the entire game is in first person. Throughout the campaign, you will meet most of the students from the TV show, with each character's unique personality being replicated perfectly in the game. This is complemented by both the English and Japanese cast returning to voice their respective roles. Unfortunately, the narrative is paper thin at best, with no agency until the very end of the story. Given the strength of the writing and the source material, the lackluster storytelling on display is nothing short of disappointing.
Want some treats?
Thankfully, VR Broom Racing fares better from the gameplay department. No prizes for guessing the game focuses on broom racing with the occasional shooting sequence. The controls are quite simple, with the left-hand controller steering the broom, while the right-hand controller is used to manipulate the wand. If you're a lefty, you shall not be left down the cold, as the game contains a southpaw option that swaps these functions between your hands. Unsurprisingly, there is a bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, the act of flying becomes an absolute joy, with motion sickness being kept to a minimum. While the Steam store page promotes this game as a seated experience, I highly recommend you play this one standing up, since the game demands a lot of ducking and weaving, especially if you're keen on flying through all the rings just like Superman 64.
Flying through rings like Superman 64? What were they thinking?
To be fair, VR Broom Racing plays much better than the revered N64 classic, while flying through the rings is entirely optional. In fact, you progress through this game whether you win or lose. This undermines the reward system since there are no roadblocks to overcome, nor is there any hooks for mastery of this game. This is compounded by the meager amount of content. There are only 13 levels in the entire game, with the end credits rolling in less than 90 minutes. While the online components and harder difficulty mode add some replay value to the mix, this game still gives off the impression that you're playing a proof of concept as opposed to a complete experience.
I can still do this! Ha!
I played through VR Broom Racing on my PC via Steam VR, and graphically the game is a mixed bag. While the character models look decent, the environments are comprised of low-resolution textures and blocky objects. Animation quality is also questionable, with some animations running at half rate. No doubt all these graphical limitations are the result of this game beginning life on the Quest, but it would have been nice to see it being spruced up before making the jump to more powerful hardware. Fortunately, the music is up to snuff, with an orchestral score that perfectly mimics the anime. The best part of the soundtrack is definitely the opening theme sung by Japanese singer Eureka, who also performed the introduction songs for the anime.
Guys are the worst!
As a fan of Little Witch Academia, VR Broom Racing has been a disappointing affair. While the developers have done a good job of nailing the atmosphere of the show and simulating the sensation of flying a broom, the undercooked storyline and lack of content makes it feel like a tech demo rather than a fully fledged adventure. This would be fine in 2016 when VR was just starting to gain traction, but with games like Moss and Half-Life Alyx taking VR to new heights, vapid experiences like VR Broom Racing can no longer cut the mustard. Despite my negativity, I do think the game is still worth a look in. There are enough moments of joy that makes it easy to justify when it goes on sale for a tenner. But until that happens, may I recommend some Harry Potter on the PS1?
Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry, you don't have one, do you?